Hi everyone, SIEC Test Master welcome you all on a live section of TOEFL speaking. So today I am going to discuss about few tasks that is in TOEFL speaking. So moving to our first slide, duration of speaking. In this slide, it takes almost 17 minutes to complete the speaking test and examiners have to complete 4 different tasks. Moving to the next slide, about the task of speaking. In TOEFL speaking test, there are 4 different tasks and the first one is independent task and rest 3 are integrated tasks. So first of all, we will discuss first task, that is independent task. In this task, students have to speak about their personal experience. They can quote their personal examples, they can talk about their familiar topics, whatever is given. And the preparation time is 15 seconds and after that they have to speak for 45 seconds. Moving to the next slides. Okay, first we need to talk about different question styles of TOEFL speaking task 1. So you will be able to see first one is style 1, agree or disagree. In this one, question type is, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Higher education means a better career. Use details and examples to support your explanation. So in this part, either you agree or disagree with the following. Moving to our next style 2, preference. In preference type, some people like to finish watching Some people like to finish watching a TV series in a short period of time and other like to watch 1 or 2 episodes per week or month. Which do you prefer? Use details and examples to support your explanation. Means what we have to do in this part, some people prefer this, other prefer that. We do need to choose only one preference and after that we have to give 2 reasons. Third one is style 3, 3 choices. In this task, students have to speak on one part where 3 touch options are given. Which one do you like to choose for your final project? First one is giving a presentation, second one is writing a letter, and the third one is creating a video. So you just need to talk about one topic. Fourth type is advantages and disadvantages. So here is the portion. Some students work while attending university. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of having a part-time job at school. So in this part, we need to discuss advantages as well as disadvantages of a part-time job during your school time period. So moving to our next slide. How to organize independent task response. So how we need to talk about this response, organize this response. First, you need to talk about your main idea, main opinion. Like if I am saying, do you agree or disagree? So you have to talk about either you agree or disagree in 1 to 2 sentences. After that, following this, the first main idea and the supporting details and examples. After that, you can give one reason in order to support your answer, and after that you can quote an example between 2 to 3 sentences. Next one is again you have to quote your second reason, second supporting idea with your example. This should be between 2 to 3 sentences, and after that you can conclude your answer. It's optional in independent task, it's up to you if you want to conclude. That is why I support my idea. Moving to next slide. Okay, now you will be able to see a sample response. Some students study for class individually, others study in a group. Which method of studying do you think is better for students and why? So guys, you will be able to see how we need to proceed, how we need to organize our idea. First, we need to give our main idea. Main idea, either how I prefer? Personally, I would rather have students study individually than in a group. तो अगर हमें लग रहा है कि उनको ग्रुप्स alone पढ़ना चाहिए than in a groups, how we need to answer our reason. First reason is that students can focus well. Students focus कर सकते हैं ज़्यादा. It is difficult to concentrate on studying when other people are around or discussing with you, as it's quite difficult for us to study when people are around us. So first reason is this, and another reason is that students can study at any time that they want. If we want to study individually, so we can study anytime. We don't need to make a schedule as per other students. Moving to our next slide. Again, this one is a sample response of independent tasks. Do you agree or disagree that grades encourage students to learn? So first one is the main idea. Personally, I think that grades don't encourage students to learn for two main reasons. Opinion is don't encourage students to learn. So how we need to proceed? First, we need to talk about our first idea. Then we need to move for our second idea. And after that, we need to conclude, as you will be able to see on your screen. First of all, grades become an addiction for students and they start learning just for good marks. So I think it's not good, as every student must know why and for what they learn. So this is our first reason. After that, we need to talk about our second idea. Secondly, grades don't give students any advantages, whereas knowledge does. So students can't become good specialists while having good grades but no knowledge. So in order to conclude this, it's optional if you want to. To sum up, I think grades don't encourage students to learn, but teachers' friendly attitude does. Moving to our next slide. Okay, now we have to talk about approach tips for independent tasks. How we need to approach our answer, how we need to score good. So first one is use preparation time. It's very how you need to manage your time well, because we are having just 15 seconds in order to prepare our answer. So take notes, but don't write the full response. We just need to write a main idea, what we have to speak. We don't need to write a full response. And raters want to hear you speaking, not writing. So it's not your writing task, so you don't need to write more. It's just 15 seconds you have in which you have to prepare your answer. So you just need to write your main idea. Second one is don't memorize the responses before the test. You don't need to memorize your response, as memorized answer will lower your score, and also it sound different and the content is different, so easily predicted by the raters. So moving to our next approach. Third one is students don't need to organize response as in writing section. Means we don't need to write in detail. We just need to write our main ideas, speak naturally and use a common connecting phrases and words. For example, on the other hand, I want to mention what this mean is, after that, furthermore, and so on. Moving to our next slide. Okay, here is end of task 1. Moving to our second task, in which we are having a reading and a conversation. First, in this task, student will be have a announcement, notice or a letter. And after reading, you will hear a conversation regarding the announcement. Means first what you have to do, a reading passage you will be able to see on the screen, and you have to write down your ideas of a reading passage. And in this, for this you have only 45 seconds. तो आपको मेन आइडिया लिखने के लिए रीडिंग पैसेज के सिर्फ 45 सेकंड्स मिलेंगे, and then in this time period you have to write the main idea of the passage. After that, a lecture or a conversation is there, and you have to write your ideas. In this, listen carefully to the speaker's reasons for agreeing or disagreeing with points made in the reading. In listening part, either there are two reasons, either the speaker supports the answer or oppose your answer. So make sure you summarize the point opinion of the speaker. Preparation time in this task is 30 seconds, and response times you have to speak for only 60 seconds. Further, okay, a sample question you will be able to see on your screens. There is an announcement from the president. एक announcement president ने की है. What it is, we have to read a passage. From the last 5 years, there has been no increase in tuition and fees have remained the same, but now the university has decided to increase tuition by 5% each year for the next 4 years for all students. Means एक announcement है जो president की तरफ से की गई है, in which from last 5 years there is no increase in the tuition fees, but now university has decided to increase it by 5% for the next 4 years. So this raise in tuition will begin next fall semester. This increase is due to the increased cost in construction for our new projects as well as the need of upgrade our exciting equipments. And where we have to use this increased fees in the cost of construction of new projects. तो new projects बताने के लिए ये fee increase हुई है और उसके लिए ये use होगी, so that we can proceed with our new projects. And the increased revenue from tuition will help keep this university in top from as well as our students stay competitive in an increasingly competitive world. Moving next, okay. Reading passage you will be able to see. Reading में हमें ये बताया गया कि there is an announcement from the president and in this part there is increase in the tuition fee by 5% so that we can construct and focus on our new projects. So moving further, there is a conversation between two students, student 1 and student 2. First one is 4 years of tuition increase to, we just need to see either students agree to the announcement or disagree with the announcement. So we just need to find out the reasons why students agree or disagree in this conversation. Moving further, 4 years of tuition increase to look forward to. Great. Student 2, yeah, but I think that's quite understandable. Paying only 5% more each year is not that unreasonable, is it? Student 1, maybe is it not unreasonable if the money goes to good cause. Means they think it's understandable the tuition fee should be increased after 4 years. It's quite reasonable, but only if it goes for a good cause. But I don't want to pay more just so the president can give herself a raise. Student 2, I bet the money will go to help finish the library and the computer labs. They have been under construction since I got there 3 years ago. It would be great if they could finish them before I graduate. I would really like to use some of those new high-tech computers. Student 2 is saying that I think it's help to finish the library and computer labs, as when I came here it is under construction. Student 1, that's right, you are going to graduate soon. You want to pay off the increases. You just have 1 year more to go. I still have at least 3 more years worth of tuition increases to worry about. Then student 1 is saying he just having still 3 years more in order to complete his graduation and he has to pay tuition fee 3 years more. Student 2, yeah, I won't have to pay for all the increases, so I don't mind so much, but I also won't get it to use for all the new equipments that you will. Student 2 is saying he just want to use it in order to make new equipment so that he can use it. Moving further, now answer the question. Student expresses his opinion on the announcement from the president. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. Means first what we have to do, we just need to talk about the announcement from the president that we have already read in the reading passage, and after that state his opinion that the students have given in their lecture conversation. Okay, moving further to the sample answer, the university announces that it will be increases its tuition fees to cover for its cost for new construction and purchase of new equipment. And the man thinks first, this is all about your reading. The universities ने announce किया है कि वो अपनी tuition fees बढ़ा रही है in order to for a new constructions or purchase of new equipments. After that, the man thinks that the increase in tuition is not such a bad thing. Students are talking about tuition fees. It's not bad thing if it is increasing after 4 years. First of all, first reason is this: the increase is not that much. It is only 5% for each year. First reason is that it is only increasing by 5%, so it doesn't matter. It's quite understandable, reasonable. And next one is the man thinks that the increase is not unreasonable. He explains that money will be used to help improve the campus. Next reason is it is going to be used for the new equipments for the computer labs and all. When the man arrived in this university, he said that the library and the computer labs were under construction. That was 3 years ago, and they still are not finished. With this new money, the man thinks that university's projects will all be finished and the new library and the computer lab will be really nice. It means they want, if the money is going to use for the computer lab that were under construction before, then it's fine for them. The man also says that he won't have to pay all the tuition because he is going to graduate soon. As the student one is having only 1 year to graduate, so he just need to pay only for a 1 year, so he doesn't bother about this more. But he's little sad that he won't be able to use all the equipment. He's little bit sad that he's not able to use the equipments. Moving further, okay. Approach tips for integrated speaking. First, obviously, we need to manage our time very carefully as we just have 30 seconds in order to write our ideas. And after that, don't speak too quickly. We don't need to speak too quickly. You should be pace yourself accordingly. Speak at a normal pace. Pace should be normal. And time yourself when you practice. Give time to your speaking. Moving further. Okay, here is our task 3. Task 3. In task 3, there is a reading and a lecture. First, we are going to see a reading passage and we have to make a notes. And after that, a lecture is there. And again, we have to make a notes. Get the gist of the reading, and reading time is only 45 seconds we have. In only 45 seconds, we have to write whatever is given in the passage, main idea of the passage. And after that, preparation time is 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, we just need to make notes. So for the main idea, and after that, we have to speak for the 60 seconds in task 3, reading and lecture. Okay. Sample question is there. First, a reading passage, you will be able to see. Humans have been domesticated or taming animals for thousands of years. The cow, pig, horse, and other animals that once lived in the wild are now used by humans. These large domesticated mammals are used for a variety of jobs in fields such as agriculture and transportation. Attempts have been made to domesticate many different types of animals, but not all attempts were successful. Animals that were not able to be successfully domesticated generally share certain characteristics. An animal that is no territorial or an animal that does not think it has its own area has a much better chance of being domesticated. Animals that in herds and have a specific leader are also easier to domesticate because the master or human can function as this leader. So basically in this reading, we just need to write main idea of the sample question. In this, we just have to talk about the humans have been domesticated animals from thousands of years, and what animals, few animals that can be domesticated easily and have a specific leader, and others are difficult to domesticate who doesn't have any leader or master. Moving further, okay, here is the lecture in which professor teaching to his students. Professor, in this chapter we are discussing the aptness of certain types of animals for domestication and the characteristics that make them this way. Animals that live in herds such as horse, yes, the horse is a perfect example, are much easier to domesticate than animals that don't live in herds. It's saying जो herds में रहते हैं, it's easier for them to domesticate. उनको domesticate करना easy होता है as comparatively to the other animals. These herds generally consist of an alpha male horse who is the boss, several female horses, and a few foals. The females and the young foals follow the alpha male around and listen to him. When the herd moves to a different location, all the horses of the herd follow the male. This willingness to follow others makes horse perfect in pulling objects or when several hands together are following the first. Horses also have overlapping territories and they don't fight with the other herds. In this first topic, a professor is discussing about the how we need to domesticate the animals who lives in a herd. It's quite easy them to domesticate as they are follow a master and they follow how they go wherever they go to the location. When the herd moves to a different location, all the horses move to a different location. So they just, this willingness to follow others makes horses perfect example. Second one is, but with a large mammal like bear, well, how often do you see a large group of bears all sitting together with each other? You don't, because they are not animals that lives in a herd. Bear कभी भी herds में groups में नहीं रहते. They just live alone and they don't follow any other bear in particular. ना ही वो किसी एक master को follow करती हैं. If bears can't get along with each other, how can they get along with the human who is telling them what they can or cannot do? Bears are also highly territorial and mark their territory in the wild. If you are walking through the woods, see some large scratch marks above eye level. That means you are walking around some marked territory. And it would probably be the best to leave unless you want to fight with the bear over his territory. So they just live alone. They just live alone in his own territory. They don't need to follow any particular bear or any particular group. Moving further, what we need to answer. Now get ready to answer the question. Question is, the professor describes the behavior of horses and bears. Explain how their behavior is related to their aptness for domestication. Moving further, how we need to organize our response. It is a task third. First, introduction. In introduction part, we just need to talk about the reading passage, what reading defines or suggests that. We just need to talk about the domestication of animals. How does it work? And after that, the professor in relation cites, illustrates, or elaborates. So after that, professor talks about two different animals. First one is horses and other one is bear. So we just need to talk about in our first example horses, and in further bears, we need to talk about bears. Further state that. Moving further, sample answer you guys able to see. Animals, first we need to talk about our reading part. Animals that live in herds like horses are going to be easier to domesticate than animals that live alone. First, they are talking about the horses because they live in herd and it's quite easy for the humans to domesticate them as comparatively to the animals who live alone, that are bears. Animals that live in herds that have leaders are easy to domesticate, and the horses has a leader of its herd. All the other horses follow that one leader horse. Being willing to follow a leader is good because the human can substitute for that leader. A bear is, now we are moving to our second example, bear. A bear is not easy to tame or domesticate as it's not a social animal that lives in herds, and bears mark their territory. If one bear finds another bear in its territory, they might fight. It's hard to tame animals that have their own territory. So means horses are easy to domesticate, but on the other hand, bears are not easy to domesticate as they live on and they have their own territory. So we explain both the examples. Moving further, this one is our last task of speaking TOEFL section. In this part, you don't need to read a passage. There is only a lecture. You just need to make notes of a lecture part. In this part, you will be here a lecture based on an academic topic, and you have to summarize the lecture and give points given accordingly. First, what you need to do, you just need to paraphrase it, whatever is given in the topic. And second is preparation time is 20 seconds. And after that, you need to speak for 60 seconds. Moving further, okay, here is the lecture. First, we just need to see what the lecture is all about. While listening lecture, we just need to make a perfect notes. We just need to make notes what it is all about. So first, professor, internet marketing, also called online and e-marketing, utilizing the internet, the low cost distribution of marketing information and media to a global market. Means the main idea is about internet marketing. They are talking about the internet marketing. Next, internet marketing combines the creative and technical aspects of the internet and relies on methods like search engine marketing, email marketing, and interactive advertising. So there are different types in which these methods use: engine marketing, email marketing, and interactive advertising. Next, the style of marketing has had a very large effect on the overall marketing industry. Obviously, internet marketing is now in. So this is very in order to advertise anything, particularly in music, banking, personal auctions, in the music industry, especially in the music industry. The use of MP3s and downloading songs and videos instead of buying CDs has exploded in recent years. Banks are offering more and more banking opportunities and tasks online, which customers seems to find more convenient and than visiting a physical branch. Obviously, internet banking makes things very easily. So we are having two examples for this one. First one is for the music industry, second one for the banking areas. Moving further, presently about 150 million Americans bank online, and this has become the fastest growing internet activity. Internet auctions have also become incredibly popular. So it's all about the 150 million Americans bank online in the recent time presently. For example, okay, one thing is more, eBay, an online auction site, has become a post reference point for buyers and sellers of goods at flea marketing and antique malls. Many sellers now run their shops online instead of at the physical location. Professor is saying an eBay online auction site is also there in which many sellers can run their shops online instead of have a, means they don't need to have a location. They can do their work easily anytime anywhere. So last one is internet marketing has also profound effect on the advertising industry itself, because of many newly created means of reaching consumers in a short amount of time. Online advertising has grown into a billion-dollar industry. As this trend continues, more and more money from advertising budgets is being shifted from traditional marketing to internet marketing. So it's just all about the marketing. How does it help the new life, advertising, banking, music industry? How does it help auctions and so on? Moving further, this is your question. Now get ready to answer the question using points and examples from the talk, from the lecture. Explain how internet marketing has affected the advertising industry. So obviously moving further, how we need to organize our idea, our response. First, we need to talk about our introduction. In introduction part, we just need to talk about the internet marketing. And after that, in body paragraphs, we need to talk about how does it help. We can talk about banking, advertising, music industry, and so on. The professor starts off by saying, so we can talk about 3 things or 4 things. He further states that. So in this way, we can proceed for our further examples. Okay, here is the sample response. First, we need to talk about the main idea. Main idea is they are talking about internet marketing has greatly affected the advertising industry in just a short amount of time, right? Because it affected the advertising industry the most और बहुत ही थोड़े समय में. After that, in only a few years, online advertising has become a billion-dollar industry. Many businesses are allocating more and more money from the traditional marketing, like television commercials or newspaper ads, to advertising on the internet. More and more companies are shifting or focusing on their online components. Obviously, companies are moving towards the online things, online components, because it's quite feasible for the companies to do a online advertising. The website Baycom has become an incredibly popular auction site. Now, many people are closing up their physical stores and selling all the products on the internet. Some banks are doing this as well. There are many more effective ways to reach consumers online now than there are in the real world. So it's quite easy for us with the help of internet marketing to do advertising, to sell the products and get the profit. So it's effectively affect the advertising industry in a very short period of time. Okay, last but not least, some important features of the speaking that waiters take into account when they evaluate your response. First one is delivery, how you deliver your response, the clearness of your speech. The response should be very clear, easy flowing, with obviously with a natural pace and good pronunciation. It's very important how you deliver your answer. Second one is use of English, how you convey your ideas effectively by using a good phrases, vocabulary, grammar. Moving further, last one is answer to the question, means you need to uh, fully answer your question. Whatever is asking you, you need to answer it fully. And whether the ideas presented are conveyed in a coherent manner. So we need to answer in a proper manner, whatever is asked. And one thing more, for the integrated task, important is put on the way that the test taker is summarizing. We need to summarizing the points that given in the reading and the listening parts. So it's very important to follow these tips in order to get a good score in TOEFL. Here is end of the session. Thank you.